Hey, friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. So it's been made official. The WWE announced all 12 participants of the upcoming WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament for triple threat matches. 2 on SmackDown, 2 on Raw. They're triple threats, so 6 people on each side. And then the winners of those are going to fight. And then the winners of those fights are going to happen at Night of Champions. They're going to fight. They're going to get this title down here. It's actually quite a bit bigger, but this is just to symbolize the ranking here. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to rank the chances of each of the 12 participants in this thing, what chance they have at actually winning the whole damn thing. Of course, because 6 are on SmackDown, and they're probably not actually going to move somebody from SmackDown to Raw because of this. I mean, look, I've seen all the complaints about, like, it doesn't make any sense that they're on SmackDown. I figured they'd put Solo Sikoa in this thing, and so Solo Sikoa would be in the finals against, like, maybe a Seth Rollins, and he'd be able to, or Cody Rhodes, he'll be able to stick it to the Tribal Chief by beating Solo Sikoa. But Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns, they're not even in the tournament, so they're not going to do that. So whoever wins this thing, it's sort of going to be a foregone conclusion that they're going to be from Raw, and the SmackDown guy is going to stay there. So as you'll notice, with my power ranking thing here, there's my little thing. We're going to do each guy in each thing. The back half here, this side right here, it's going to be mainly SmackDown people because I don't know why they did this. It's just confusing. Anyways, let's go ahead and kick this off. The first person, the least likely, we're going to go from 12 to 1. The least likely individual to win this whole damn thing is, of course, The Miz. Yeah, if this was like a standard tournament, not triple threat, but like a standard tournament, he would lose out in the first round. If this was like a G1 round robin type point system, he'd get 0 points. He would win absolutely nothing. He's The Miz. I understand what his accolades are, but his day is long gone. He shouldn't even be in this thing, to be honest with you. I can probably come up with many other people who'd be better than The Miz being in this thing. That being said, the next person who stands no shot at getting this is SmackDown's new acquisition, the United States Championship. That is, of course, Austin Theory, who's currently the United States Champion. Austin Theory seems to be sort of like a bystander in his own matches. We saw this at Backlash where, Bobby Lashley speared Bronson Reed, and then Austin Theory took advantage of that. Didn't even have to use his own finish on the guy that got pinned. So he's next. He's number 11. He's got no chance. He's currently the United States Champion. That ain't going to change probably anytime soon, although it should. They should put that title on Bobby Lashley or AJ Styles or something like that. But yeah, Austin Theory, he's got no chance of winning this. Again, if this was like a proper tournament, he would have 0 points. He would bow out in the first round. Let's move on. Next up, number 10, Sheamus. Now, Sheamus is a guy who could, I guess, maybe, he's not really doing anything right now. Brawling Brutes aren't doing anything. Nobody's really doing anything because the rosters just got mixed up. But, like, I don't know. They haven't had him feud with Roman Reigns. I'd love to see that happen, but it seems like they don't really want to do that. So, in theory, the Brawling Brutes could move to Raw, but that's sort of, therein lies the problem. If you move Sheamus to Raw, you have to move the entire Brawling Brutes. And that wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. You're not going to break up a pretty popular faction and a pretty useful faction just because they're going to have Sheamus. Plus, Sheamus has already won the big gold belt before, like the pre-big gold belt, and the WWE Championship for that matter. The only title he really needs at this point is Gunther's Intercontinental Championship. Now that Gunther's on Raw, all the more reason for Sheamus to be on Raw. But that's not going to happen. He's not going to get there via the World Heavyweight Championship. But I still think he's got a better chance than The Miz or Austin Theory. Now, The Miz, as you remember, I said the back half is going to be all SmackDown. The Miz is that one exception. I don't care that he's on Raw. Yeah, I mean, that's like a sack of potatoes being on Raw. A sack of potatoes not going to win that title either. Anyways, moving on. Next up, Bobby Lashley. I put him here with his WWE Championship to remember the good old days of Bobby Lashley being WWE Champion. I thought that was pretty cool. I put him here at number 9. Bobby Lashley actually could potentially, in fact, I'm actually going to move Bobby here. This is my first change right here. I'm going to move him here to the number 8 spot. I think he's got a better chance than the guy I had at number 8. I'll get to him in just a second. But Bobby Lashley's the kind of guy, he's a solo act. He doesn't have like the Hurt Business anymore, or he doesn't have a faction around him. He's actually, in the middle of a feud even though they're going to get split up because of they've been split up because of the draft, but he's in the middle of a feud with the guy who's on Raw, Bronson Reed. He's a former champion. You know what? Actually, I'm going to bring him over up here to number 7 now that I think about it. See, I'm making moves. I'm making moves over here, people. Anyways, Bobby Lashley, yeah, I think he's got like a middle of the pack chance at switching brands again from SmackDown to Raw. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, he's already been champion a bunch, and I feel like they want something new and fresh, although he hasn't he hasn't faced off against Roman Reigns, this iteration of Roman Reigns. And so, that's legitimacy. That's a guy who, could potentially beat the tribal chief on SmackDown, or if you want to make him World Heavyweight Championship, it feels less like a consolation prize or like, oh, this guy, he got smashed by Roman, so we're going to give him this belt. Anyways, let's move on to the new number 9, which at this point is AJ Styles. I had him here at 8, but now he's going to move down to 9. He just returned. He just moved to the SmackDown brand of the house that AJ built. And again, he's got a big faction around him. He's got the Good Brothers and Mi Chin, with the OC there. And I don't think that they're going to move him from SmackDown to Raw. That wouldn't make any sense. He'd have to bring everybody with him. He just moved. He just got back. Fresh matchups for him on SmackDown. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think as far as other people on SmackDown, he's at least got a better chance than these people over here. Another guy who's actually a pretty interesting name, and I'm going to put him here at the 8th position, is, of course, Edge. There, move over there, Edge. And this is why Edge is a really interesting name, because he never lost the World Heavyweight Championship back when he had to retire a million years ago. If you remember, they let him win at WrestleMania, and then like the next night or the next time we saw him is when he retired. And so he never actually lost the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, of course, since then, he has been stacked by Roman Reigns along with Daniel Bryan in the main event of WrestleMania. That, to me, sort of disqualifies him. That's why I put him here further behind than Bobby Lashley. Let me do this here so Bobby's more prominent. And so I don't think that Edge really is qualified to hold that title now. Although, if he was on Raw, I'd give him a pretty decent chance of winning that thing, to be honest with you. Although that does scream consolation prize when a guy who's been stacked by Roman Reigns with another man, another Hall of Famer, mind you, is holding the World Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, that's not going to happen. The other name on SmackDown that I think actually has not a terrible chance of coming back over to Raw is Rey Mysterio. Think about it. He is arguably more popular now than he's ever been, thanks to his feud with Dom, the LWO, and all the Bad Bunny stuff. He is hot right now. He still moves like he's 20 years old, which is crazy, even though I guess he's talked about retirement stuff. But if WWE wants to keep that feud alive, have him win this thing. Have him move to Raw. Have the rest of the LWO move to Raw, and then you can keep up the feud with Dominic Mysterio and Judgment Day. I get the feeling they're going to have a match at Night of Champions because the issue was the challenge was issued at SmackDown this past Friday. So I think that match is still going to happen. But I don't think anybody would complain if Rey Mysterio would be champion. What I'm actually upset about is that you got The Miz in this tournament, but another guy who's perfectly qualified on Raw, Dominic Mysterio, is not in this tournament. That kind of upsets me, but I think I know why. It's because Finn Balor and Damien Priest are already in 2 of those triple threat matches, and you can't have Judgment Day and all 3, or in 3 guys in 2 triple threat matches. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But Rey Mysterio moving over and getting back on Raw with the World Heavyweight Championship, that's a possibility. That's definitely a possibility. In fact, you know what? I'd actually put him as a better possibility than my number 5. And I hate to say it, but let's move over to number 5 here. And that's, of course, Damien Priest, who, no, Ray, not you, Damien. Here we go. Yeah, move over here to number 6, Damien. So Damien Priest just came off of being basically a ring general for that Bad Bunny match at Backlash. Did a terrific job, MVP of the entire show, in my opinion. And so he definitely deserves a reward of some sort. I think that's going to come in the form of a couple of wins or something like that. But I don't think it's going to come in the form of the World Heavyweight Championship. I love Damien Priest. I think he's terrific. I just don't see him as World Heavyweight Championship guy right now. Maybe in the future. But right now he's in a stable with Finn Balor, who I'm about to get to. But before I get to Finn Balor, let's get to this guy. Shinsuke Nakamura at number 4. The King of Strong Style. I mean, he won the Royal Rumble years ago. He's got a big return, sort of not a repackage necessarily, but they brought back his old NXT theme. He seems to be a bit tougher of a guy now. They don't just have him saddled with like boogs anymore. He just beat Karrion Kross, which really doesn't say much of anything. But if you want a big way to bring Shinsuke back to the fore, being on Raw now, then yeah, why not? I think people would love to see this. He never got that WWE championship in his feud with AJ Styles years ago. But I think now would be a great time to put that world title on Shinsuke Nakamura. Again, he's a guy that they teased a feud with Roman Reigns, but they never went through it. Or they never went through with it, rather. And him and Roman could still have some unfinished business. I know Shinsuke had challenged him in the past, but they never made good on that. So yeah, Shinsuke, a guy that Roman hasn't beat, might not feel like consolation prize, but I wonder if in the eyes of fans, Shinsuke would need to do a little bit more to solidify Shinsuke as a legitimate world champion, but you just do that with a bunch of wins, really. So yeah, Shinsuke, I don't think anybody can complain if he was world champion. Let's go to the next one. This is the guy I'm pulling for. I'll be honest with you. It's Finn Balor from Judgment Day. I'm a huge Finn Balor fan. I think you could totally have him sneak away with one of the wins here in this in one of the triple threats. What's the triple threats going to look like again? Let's see here. I don't know if they've actually nailed this down or not, but it looks like it's probably going to be Cody, Seth, and Damien, Finn, Shinsuke, and Miz. So out of that group, well, we'll talk about that here in a second. We'll talk about that here in a second. So Finn Balor, we all know what happened back in 2016. The Universal Championship debuted. Him and Seth Rollins fought for it. Finn Balor won, injured his shoulder in the process, and had to give it up, and he never really reached that height again. I would love for him, along with Judgment Day, to have the two top titles on Raw. That would be awesome. I know a lot of people would love to see that. I love this iteration of the Finn Balor character. He's taken a bit of a backseat during this current feud with the LWO because they're pushing Damien Priest for that Bad Bunny match. But I think it's ready. It's time for him to step up again and be a more prominent figure on Raw. I couldn't think of a better way to do that than having him get that world championship. That's what I would love to see. I think it'd be awesome. Next up, of course, number 2. Which one's it going to be, Seth or Cody? It's going to be Cody. Come on, you guys know that. Cody Rhodes just got off of a win against Brock Lesnar. He's Cody Rhodes. He's literally the biggest babyface they've got in the company, probably. It's either him or number 1, Seth Rollins. And yeah, I mean, come on. The only problem with this, of course, is that people might crow that it's a consolation prize, that he's the champion on Raw. I don't think that's a problem. I think he can be champion and still look at that thing and say, you know what, this is great, but it's not Roman Reigns. And then, I don't know, maybe they could do another title unification at WrestleMania. Kill me. There's Seth Rollins right there at number 1. Of course, Seth Rollins is at number 1. Look at that. There he is. Let's make him nice and big right here. Here we go. Because I kind of feel like this is going to be a situation. This is why I don't want him to win, though. Because if you put that title on Finn Balor, then Seth Rollins has something to do. He's got a goal. He's got a championship to chase after. And really, I think Seth Rollins is much more interesting when he's not champion. I think historically that's sort of been the truth. Although I did like when he was a heel in his first WWE title run. I don't know, a lot of people didn't like that because he would always use J&J security. But in terms of being a bad guy, he's absolutely the best. I do think that he's straying a little too close to just being a pure babyface these days, and I'm not huge on that. But the crowd loves him. They sing a song all the time, and I feel like, you know, Seth Rollins has Roman Reigns' number. I've outlined this before. I think I did a video very similar to this before I knew the participants were like, oh, who should win this thing? And a lot of these names are on there. But no, Seth is a great name to win this. It's just I wonder if it might be more fun for him to have to chase somebody first, that somebody being Finn Balor. I hope Finn wins it. Now, if you take a look at the graphic here, I'll actually bring this graphic on here real quick while we're at it. I'm just doing all this in real time here. Here's the actual graphic right here. Oh, get in here. Nope. Okay, here's my thumbnail then. How about that? So, if you take a look at this thumbnail right here, I'm just moving all sorts of shit out here. Here we go. Look. Oh, there we go. So, I wonder if this is what the triple threat matches are going to be. Sheamus, Austin Theory, and Rey Mysterio up there in the corner. If they fight, Rey Mysterio's coming out of that. Then you got Bobby Lashley, Edge, and AJ Styles. I don't think anybody can complain if AJ Styles came out of that one. It'd be a big deal for him. Maybe Austin Theory screws over Bobby Lashley. Maybe Bobby Lashley screws over Austin Theory in that first triple threat on SmackDown. I don't know, because they were sort of feuding. So AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio. I think those are the two names that come out of SmackDown. They fight. AJ wins. That's my guess. Or, yeah. Ooh, how about this? AJ wins. And then over here, you got Damien Priest, you got Seth Rollins, you got Cody Rhodes. They have a match. And out of that match, you got Seth Rollins. He comes out of that one because Brock Lesnar interferes and costs Damien Priest or something like that. I don't know. And then in this other triple threat here, as much as I love Shinsuke, Finn Balor comes out of this match. So in the semifinals, you have a rematch between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor from 2016. Finn Balor gets the win once again, maybe with some shenanigans from somebody who's going to feud with Seth Rollins. And then you get Finn Balor versus AJ Styles, the two first leaders of the Bullet Club right there, for the title. And then Finn Balor wins it. Oh my God, look at that. Holy shit, why wouldn't they do that? That sounds great. I think we booked it, everybody. That's right. Finn Balor is now your new number one guy. Look at that. He rules them all. Yeah. All right, anyways. Let me know who you guys think is going to win this thing. Leave your fantasy books in the comments below. Check out this video over here. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later. Look at Finn right there. Come on, Finn, win this thing. Can't spell Finn without win. Actually, you can.